Hi everyone, I'm Yolanda, and in today's tutorial we are going to be learning how to use the Russian bowl tips. So let's get started. I'm ready to start making my cupcakes. I have all the cupcake cups ready, as well as the batter I'm going to be using. I've placed the recipe in the information section of this video. We are going to use 3 tablespoons of the batter only, as we want our cupcakes to be nice and round and even. We don't want to see any hump in the middle, or we don't want the cupcakes to disinflate after we take them out of the oven. Therefore, we are going to bake at a temperature between 340 and 345 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 to 25 minutes depending on your oven. We don't want to bake at a high temperature, but we don't want our cupcakes to be undercooked either. So here are all my cupcakes. They finished baking about 15 minutes ago. I baked them at 345 degrees for 25 minutes. You see, they are nice and golden, almost at the same level. I'm going to open one of the cupcakes so that you can see how moist and soft they are in the inside. To have moist cupcakes, you should also put your cupcake tray on a cookie sheet, just like the one I have here on my left. And here is my cupcake, nice and golden and soft and moist. That's how they should all be. I'm cutting a piece of plastic wrap. Here are all my pastry bags filled with buttercream in different color. And as you can see, I filled them all to the top. And this is the only time that I fill my pastry bags all the way to the top, as you should never fill your bags to the top. But these bags are not going to be using for decorating, so it's okay. You should always fill your bag only halfway. But these are fine because I'm not going to be decorating with them. Next, we are going to pipe lines of icing right in the middle of the plastic wrap. We are going to double pipe each line to make the icing thicker. You may do this also with a spatula, but I think it's much better when you use a pastry bag. And now we are going to roll the plastic with the icing, and then we are going to twist each end. And for now we are going to be putting those outside. For this project, I'm going to be using Russian tips. I have already used some Russian tips before, and I have uploaded some videos with other Russian tips, but today we're going to concentrate in the new Russian tips. They are called ball Russian tips because the top is like a sphere. I have 3 of them, so I'm going to be using them. I might pipe with some other ones, some of the other Russian tips, but we want to concentrate today in the ball tips. The regular Russian tips can be used with a coupler. You may use a coupler if you are going to use one color, one bag with different tips. Or you may use the Russian tips without a coupler. Just the tube or the tip by itself inside the pastry bag. If you try to cut the bag of the Russian bowl tool the traditional way, the way we cut the bags for the other tips by measuring it from the top, then you will mess the bag up. You need 2.5 inches to cut from the top, and that'll be the exact measurements. Look what happens when you cut it the regular way. You see that? Did you see how the tip just came right out? So the measurement for the bag is 2.5 inches. So I'm going to cut the bag 2.5 inches off from the tip of the bag, and that will give me the exact measurement to insert the Russian tip, the bowl Russian tip. Watch. You may fill your cupcake by pressing a large tip onto your cake and making a cavity. Fill it with any filling, and then you cover it with buttercream. For a filling that is too soft or runny, such as custard, use a tip like this one, for filling cupcakes. Fill your bag, then squeeze the filling into the cupcake. I'm going to start piping with the regular Russian tips just to give you an idea of what they look like. If you want more information about these tips, check out the other videos where I pipe cupcakes and cakes. Now, after I pipe all the flours, I'm going to freeze them for about maybe 15 minutes. Between 10 and 15 minutes, I'm going to freeze them. Once they are frozen, you can bring them out from the freezer, peel off the paper from the bag, and place them on your cake or your cupcakes. But if you want to pipe the flours directly onto your cupcakes, just like I'm doing now, you may do so, just like this. It's up to you. And now let's pipe some rosettes or whatever you want to call these things with the ball tips. After you pipe, when you lift, it usually forms a big gap around the flower, but you can fix that with your small palette knife. And then we are going to place a rose right in the center, a small rose in the center of the flower, using another Russian tip. These rosettes are also good for decorating a cake. You may place them on top of your cake or all around after they've been frozen. I'm using buttercream and tip number 12 to pipe the center on the flowers. You probably can't see it in the video, but each ruffle is different because each tip has a different design. And now it's time to place the flowers on the cupcakes with a little bit of buttercream on top. If you are making these things for your kids or for someone, make sure that you start maybe 3 days ahead of time. The first day you make your buttercream, and you may refrigerate the buttercream until you are ready to use it. Then the second day you make your cupcakes, and then on the third day you decorate. So give yourself more or less 3 or 4 days in between, so that way you don't get frustrated because you are overwhelmed if you try to do all this in one day. This has been all for today. Thank you for watching. I hope that you learned something. Please share and subscribe. I will see you back here again next time with another tutorial. In the meantime, take care and God bless.